We're back.
Scared him.
So, all right, guys. In this video, we're going to be talking about life on the team and managing expectations versus reality, and what else?
And I think we're also going to dive into some of our individual experiences and maybe even some of our
Trials and tribulations, if you will.
Exactly. You can call them that.
Yeah.
You can call them that.
Now, so we're going to talk about like what we had to go through on the team, some things to, just our experience overall, and like, yeah, let's dive
into it. So I'd say the first thing, once you get on the team,
It's getting juicy in here.
there are levels, to what goes on after you make the, the tryout or after you, pass the physical.
That's the easy part.
That's the easy part. So
Making the team is unfortunately the easiest part.
of the whole entire season, easily.
Yeah, 100%.
Walkthroughs, yes, harder
than
that.
making the team. Yeah.
So yeah, I think the biggest thing that we wanted to get across too is just kind of the seasons and how it's laid out. So
Yeah.
when we go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, the reason that making the team seems difficult, like in reality, all it is like a tryout where you have to run the 40 and the shuttle and a couple different drills. The reason that seems so difficult is because it's not in your control and it's super unknown. The process is unknown, the selections are unknown, everything about it's 100% unknown, which is why we're trying to shed light on it. But once you get on the team, you know exactly what you need to do every single day, pretty much. But you don't really know how to advance on the team as clearly, and also it's just gonna be it's a grind. Like, it's gonna be hard, especially when you're starting off. So, how did you feel like when we were first week on the team? First week on the team actually wasn't that bad. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it wasn't that bad.
They treated us pretty.
They got us in. We had, I think, was it 6 a.m. workouts?
Yeah. So.
And we worked out on the field.
Treated us well.
By the way, we didn't work out with the rest of the the team.
Oh yeah.
So
that's a big part of this.
The band of us, I think it was 7, 8 of us,
We
or
had, like,
5 or 6.
A small walk-on group that had made the team.
Yes. So they took weights and dumbbells and kettlebells. They didn't let us lift in the actual weight room, at the time, because we, earn your stripes. You're just walking in the facility. You got to earn it. So
Yeah.
we go out.
Rightfully so.
And, we're about to walk in the weight room. Coach Mick's like, no. 8 points. He's out there. Like, doesn't even know our names. He's just out there.
Dude, I love that, man. Coach Mick, best strength coach.
Easily.
Probably, one of the best people on this entire planet.
The ship that drives that entire program.
He's the man. So he really taught us, you got to earn everything when you walk in that door. There's no free lunches. And yeah, like you said, our first maybe month and a half. I would say month to month and a half.
Like January till about March/spring break, I'd say.
Yeah, they would not let us touch weights. They would not let us touch the weight room. We would go out onto the turf every morning. We were obviously the first lift group, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., whatever it was. And we would go out on the turf, and they wouldn't even give us one of the they would give us one of the interns. So Nick was actually a strength intern. So they would give us one of the strength interns to come out with us and just put us through as hard of a workout as they could without having any weights or any equipment. So that was what we ended up going through for the first month, while everybody else is in the weight room getting their workouts in with weights and stuff. But that time period was super crucial, because not only did we understand then that you have to work for everything, but also it brought our initial group really close together, and then allowed us to start feeling more comfortable with that group, and making sure we each had each other's back, and then growing out from there.
Yeah, I think a big thing, like Clay was mentioning, it's like the accountability of the small group or the band that we had, because I think we were, I think I can speak for everyone. We were all going through the unknown together, so we were all just trying to figure it out together. So we weren't trying to put anyone or call anyone out, or so we were trying to stay as close as we could, the entire time.
We were walking a very thin line as it was.
And on the ice.
Yeah, it's so being in walk-ons, you do not want to mess anything up. You do not want to step on anyone's toes. You want to do everything you're supposed to do. I don't know. I know he felt the same way I did. Like, we were, blessed and given an opportunity to be there.
Definitely.
A dream school that we wanted to be at. Like, we were not going to mess this shit up. Like, I felt like at times some of the other walk-ons that were in our group, not that they were necessarily taking it for granted, but, like, didn't quite care as, deeply as we did initially. Yeah. Which is probably part of the reason why, we were the only, group that ended up lasting to the very end. It's not that they didn't care, but some of them, some of them would get in trouble for doing stupid stuff, missing classes, drinking, arrests,
missing workouts,
being late, like things like that you just wouldn't do if you were really, taking it as seriously as you possibly could. Like, I would have 2-3 alarms set. Like, I'm not having nobody check my accountability and get mad at me.
I know, like, even though it's like 5:30 in the morning or 5 or even earlier.
4 or 5. I think it's 4 in the morning at that time. 4:30.
Yeah, right around 4:30. Yeah, I'd like roll all my windows down in my car. Mid-January, I'm like,
we're in Ohio.
I'm blasting cold. Weather or not weather, blasting music.
Dude, I don't know if like. Every morning I would wake up, I would literally be like, zoom, and I would just hop. I would like be wide awake. Like, I'd be like, all right, shit, I gotta go. Like, let's get this day going. And that kind of like urgency and like not fear, but like adrenaline. Like, you're like, okay, this is real now. I gotta make stuff happen. I feel like was definitely helpful for me at least.
Exactly. I think too. Once we started to get our feet wet, lifting amongst each other, we also got thrown in to mat drills.
Oh, yeah.
So mat drills, 6 a.m. in the morning, there's probably it's like maybe one mat drill every other week. Maybe, or every week.
I think it was every week.
Maybe every week
Wednesday,
to start.
I think it was.
So they have the mats laid out all over the turf, and they have, different, I don't even know, competitions, I guess.
It's like different stations, almost like imagine each like set of mats that were set up or whatever, had a different station. One might be tug of war. One might be like you're wrestling with someone. One might be like
a tire, like you're really just trying to rip the tire out of their hands.
Everything was a competition. Like, no matter what, you're a winner or you're a loser. And so that was definitely one of the most eye-opening things for me. Was like every day I walked in there, I was probably gonna be a loser for the first. For the first, acclimation period. Because, like, when you walk into that, you almost feel like a sense of, like, oh, shoot, I don't want to, step on anyone's toes and potentially
be that guy.
Guy and do something I'm not supposed to do. So you're almost, like, not giving your full effort just because you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing yet. And then once you start realizing, like, it's win or loser every time, you got to make a name for yourself, then you're like, okay, I got to start winning. Like,
exactly.
Everything I'm going to do, I'm going to be a winner now. Like, everything, every day, you want to try to do the best of your ability. And that was, like, really, I feel like, a major shock to me. It was, like, every day pressure's on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And so, like, when I played in high school and when I played a year at Ashland, I played tight end, fullback, a little bit of linebacker. And, when I originally made the team, they said, when I walked in Monday, they're like, all right, you're going with the defensive line. I was like,
dude,
wow.
Yeah.
Defensive line. At the time, I bigger guy, I guess, 6'3", 230, 235.
He still ran like a 4.6 in the 40, so.
But I was like,
don't be surprised.
Yeah, I walk in, into the Woody, and even, when I was getting my physical, I'm like, dude, these guys are huge. Like, Jalen Holmes, Tyquan Lewis, Tracy Sprinkle, like these guys are massive. So especially once we got really thrown in, and I'm going against the other D line, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, please, one, just don't look stupid, but also two,
that's really important when you
give enough effort so it doesn't make like I'm losing that bad.
Yeah.
But I think that was a quick adjustment that I had to.
Yeah, and that's just mat drills. Like the other, really everything's like that. It's like you just go from being in a state of like where the pressure is not on all the time to where now all of a sudden when you're in the right kind of program and it's win or lose and you're taught like, how to be in competition mode a lot, you got to be comfortable under pressure every single day, under stress every single day, and expected to win every single day because eventually that's what, your end goal is And so I feel like going through that time for me was like, we would both be like, we'd have study table hours after our workouts and stuff, where we're supposed to go like for like 8 hours a week and do our homework or whatever, and we would just be so tired. Like it was not only like, it was mentally tiring on top of being physically tiring, because you're not used to like that kind of like, I guess, stress level every day.
Exactly. And we're also starting to get integrated into the position group, so we were starting to learn the playbooks, on the defensive side, respectively.
You don't want to look stupid in the classroom. You don't want to look,
Yeah, and that's all on top of school, which, I mean, we
Yes.
get, being like a student athlete in high school, maybe a little bit in college, but, at that level, it's like,
yeah,
there it is.
It's definitely different. And this is nothing new. Like every, I would say, whether you're a walk-on or not, everybody goes through this when you first get on, in a new program, on a new team, anything like that. But it's just like, you got to like kind of learn how to manage. Like, how would you say you managed your expectations of what you thought it was going to be like versus what it was like when you are actually on the team?
I think I tried to minimize my expectations as much as I could, and just try to control what I could control.
Yeah.
So like, I wouldn't be much of a talker. I didn't really try to say too much. I would just try to work really hard, let that, my actions speak for me.
Yes.
Or at least try my best to do that. But yeah, I was more like, I think, so focused on not messing up or being on time and doing the right thing. And, that I kind of like blocked a lot of the craziness of like joining the team and, that, I don't know, kind of stargaze, like,
The hype.
all these guys, the hype of, making the team. I think I was so focused on just, I think it was a credit to, like you said, that winner-loser culture, that they instill in you. So I try to take that and, run with it. So I think, the expectation, if you come in and you're trying to think like, oh, I'm going to play, or, oh, I'm going to instantly be in the weight room, or I would just, kind of minimize that a little bit. I think it's more...
I wouldn't even think about it. Like, to be honest, before I ended up joining, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know how any of the programs were ran. And to be honest, I think it was better off that way. So I know we're trying to shed light on some of it for you guys, but at the end of the day, everywhere is going to be different. Every experience is going to be different. And, like, for the both of us, we literally were taking it one day at a time. Like, when I talk about, like, you got to be in the present moment, if you start thinking, like, you're on the turf now and you're thinking you're a loser every single day, and you start thinking, like, how am I going to deal with this for X number of years, X number of days, that's going to get you in a negative mindset. Yeah. So you legitimately want to stay close with the people you're close with. Don't be, like, bringing that negative energy around. That's, like, the worst thing you can do is, like, start trying to bring other people down with you. But, like, honestly, being focused on what you got to do to get through that moment and get through that day. And if you just keep stacking up those days one by one, it usually ends up working out, for the best, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the last thing too, kind of what I touched on earlier, it's more of you working as hard as you can and not really talking about what you did before and kind of what you did in high school or maybe your other college that you're at. As tempting as that might be, all that they care about is in the moment. So like, if you're able to produce in the moment, work hard, that's going to speak for you volumes more than you trying to talk about your highlight tape. I'm not saying you can't bring that up, right? I mean, I wouldn't talk about my highlight tape. It was not anything to brag home about. But at the same time, people just care about what you can do right now. And I think if you just focus on contributing in the moment and you just stack that, like Clay said, day after day after day, then you're going to get somewhere. Then that's progress instead of...
Like, if you start thinking and looking at where you're at today and you're like, I don't see any foreseeable path to me being a starter here, like, there's just no way it's possible, you're going to put yourself in a mind state that's, not going to allow you to perform in that moment and that day, maybe even in that year, and it's going to definitely bring you down because... Honestly, you never know when that one moment could, flip. You could make that one play in practice. You could do that one thing that, a coach sees randomly or something that makes you stand out that ultimately down the road leads to something that, you never expected, like maybe playing time or potentially a shot to do something bigger, earn a scholarship, make it to the next level, really anything. It's pretty crazy. When you look at the people who persevere, some of our good friends, CJ Saunders, like any like walk-on story that's, made it big time or made it to the level where they're getting a lot of playing time or they've potentially made it to the NFL. It's always a story of somehow perseverance and then a little bit of luck with a little bit of just serendipity where the right things line up at the right time. They get an opportunity to shine and then they can finally make it happen. So I would just encourage you guys, try to manage your expectations when you start. Be open to anything happening. Don't think that it's going to last forever and just stack it day by day and try to honestly get through the moment.
I agree with that. Control the controllables, and
I
think you're off to the right foot.
They used to say, what was it, like win the moment?
Win the moment.
That was one
win
of
the
big,
moment.
Yeah, if you can really just focus on that one day at a time, especially if you guys end up making it to camp.
Yeah.
You guys are going to need it. So hopefully this video has helped you guys at least understand a little bit about what it's like when you first potentially start out on the team. This is obviously for the winter phase.
Yeah.
What we're speaking about here. So we joined both in the winter time. So that's when, mat drills, workouts and stuff are. There is a tryout in the fall time, but I would say it's a higher chance that you make it in the winter time, but it depends school to school. But is it any last words for him? Other than to follow you on Instagram and YouTube?
Exactly. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I can also put that in there, right?
What's the Instagram handle?
NickSeamy_.
Clay Rat. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Let us know what you guys want to see. We're here to answer your questions. And we'll see you guys in the next video.